Hello folks. So in this video, I'm going to let you know about 9 must-have skills to become a data scientist, or if you want to make a switch from your current job or career to data science. So if you are a self-motivated person who is very passionate about data science and kind of bringing values to companies by solving complex problems and implementing marvel solutions, then this video is going to be very useful for you. Okay, but the great question is how okay or how do or how can you switch from your current job to data science, and what are the important skills that you need to have in order to make a switch. Okay, so because you have a zero experience in data science and you have no clue how to get started in this field. Okay, so I actually came up with this video to go through the skills required for enthusiastic and aspiring data scientists like you. So don't get intimidated by overwhelming information I'm going to provide, because some of those skills are optional, and you can focus on them later on once you develop these core skills. So folks, this is Nitin, who is on a mission to democratize the artificial intelligence, big data, Hadoop, cloud computing, and blockchain to the entire world. And with this aim, I'm creating the associated content and publishing it on the periodic basis in order to make it available for you, for the entire community who wants to learn these modern technologies. So you can subscribe to my channel or press the bell icon to keep on getting the latest updates regarding hottest technologies of 21st century. And you can also follow me on Twitter at the link given here. And I have also added subtitles in languages like Hindi, English, French for your convenience, so you can enable them as per your needs. So the key question is, what are the skill set required to become a data scientist? I will be very honest with you. One important thing to keep in mind is that to learn all the skill sets in data science is nearly impossible, because the scope is way too wide, and there will always be some skills, be it technical or non-technical, that data scientists don't know or haven't learned, as different businesses or industry verticals require different skill sets. Okay, so please note that these suggestions are derived from my own experience in data science field. Okay, so let's go one by one the skill sets required to become data scientist. So number one in the list is educational qualification. Okay, so the educational background is required to gain knowledge on intrinsic aspects of various algorithms, right? How these algorithm works, so that you could use them in your machine learning model. An opportunity to the performance parameters, which you can tweak in performance parameters that it can provide, so that it can provide maximum output without putting pressure on computing or processing unit. So basically these algorithms will no more be black box for you. To become a data scientist, you could learn you could earn a bachelor's degree in computer science, information technology, or statistics. So data scientists are highly educated, having master's degree, or are sometimes PhD holders. In fact, some of them are PhD holders these days. So the most common field of study are mathematics, statistics, engineering, and computer science. And while doing bachelor's, you could also take some big data related courses as one subject. Okay, but if you don't have that option available, then you can take some online courses to learn, right? And these are some of these technologies are open source these days. So your focus should always be on developing a related project when taking these courses, so that you can showcase and explain it to your potential employer. Okay, moving on, the number two skill is mathematics and statistics. Although mathematics is an important aspect when switching to machine learning career, yet I don't recommend studying or going through all the mathematics before starting to do actual practice work. Okay, so this bottom up approach is counterproductive, as you will get discouraged by actually starting with the theory, which is kind of little bit boring. So before we start practicing, we should actually, practicing is a more more fun than going through a theory, right? We all know very well. So that is one aspect. And uh, the things which we learn in this category is linear algebra. So linear algebra is required to understand how different machine learning related algorithms work under the hood. Okay, and we can get to learn about vectors, metrics, and tensors in this particular category. Second one in this is calculus. We need to learn the calculus, which is majorly used for developing functions such as loss or cost function for training algorithms in order to reduce errors or any other objectives. And the third one in this category is statistics and probability. So statistics and probability is used to obtain inferential or descriptive statistics to find out the distribution of data, calculate the dispersion or spread of data, mean of entire data, etc. So kind of getting a high level picture of what kind of data we have, whether it is skewed or we have some normal distributed data, right? So the number three in the list is coding skills, and be it in R language or Python. So you need to master at least one of these languages, either R or Python. So Python is very versatile language. You could use it in robotics, data science, building some web application, Internet of Things, building some gaming apps, etc. Right? So today it's the most preferred language in today's world to build machine learning and deep learning models. And it can take various formats of data, and you can easily import SQL tables into your code using Python. So it also allows this Python language, in fact, also allows you to simulate data for various supervised and unsupervised algorithms. R, on the other hand, is widely used among the statisticians and data miners for developing statistical software and data analysis. And you can use it to build machine learning models as well, right? So there are wide variety of libraries available to perform statistical and statistical operations and build machine learning models. Both of these languages are open source and are available for free. Okay. So moving on, number fourth in the list is machine learning, deep learning, and AI related skill set. So the number fourth, as I told you, is machine learning, deep learning, and AI related skills. So as an aspiring data scientist, you basically need to be proficient in machine learning and deep learning techniques. That is, you need to have an understanding of supervised algorithms like support vector machines, logistic regression, linear regression, naive Bayes algorithm, decision trees, k nearest neighbors, random forest, and unsupervised algorithms as well, like which are k-means, k-meroid, from machine learning perspective, in order to develop predictive models as well as neural networks for building complex deep learning models like neural networks for processing images, recurrent neural networks for processing some text, and autoencoders, etc. So you can also try to gain knowledge in reinforcement learning, adversarial or learning, etc. So these skills will help you to solve different data science problems, machine and deep learning problems as well. So machine and deep learning has various applications, like you could use autoencoders for detecting outliers, time series analysis for building forecasting models, to basically forecast sales of an organization. Then we have natural language processing and recurrent neural network for building sentiment analysis related models, topic modeling for as well as in fact topic modeling for grouping hundreds of thousands of customer reviews into different categories. And then we have convolution neural network for computer vision, building some recommendation engines, as well as build some predictive models related to providing better customer experience. So you could utilize reinforcement learning through which a model learns regularly from its environment. Okay, reinforcement learning is used to build self driving cars. Okay, as um, in fact. So now neural network and reinforcement learning involves gigabytes and petabytes of data. So you may get exposure to GPU machines which are more advanced and powerful as compared to CPUs. Okay, so number fifth in the list is big data Hadoop related skill set or knowledge. Although it's not a prerequisite or major requirement to become a data scientist, yet you will stand out from the crowd if you have the knowledge in Hadoop, okay, and its ecosystem technologies like Hive, Pig, okay. So basically, it helps you to build knowledge in how to extract data from disparate data sources and transform it into desirable format so that it can be used in building machine learning models. And you could also make use of commodity hardware and parallel processing in Hadoop to process gigabytes and petabytes of data in minutes or even seconds, which is the major advantage, right? And since data scientists spend their 80% of time in cleaning data, so you could harness the processing speed of Hadoop for achieving data cleaning objectives. You can also use Hadoop for data exploration, data filtration, data sampling, and summarization. Also, Apache Spark is another big data computation framework, just like Hadoop, which is getting popular these days. Okay, so Spark is in fact faster than Hadoop, and the difference between Hadoop and Spark is that Hadoop reads and writes to disk, which makes it basically slower, but Spark caches its computation in memory, and you can write Spark code using Scala, Python, or Java APIs. Okay, so Apache Spark is specially designed for data science to run the complex algorithms faster. And you can also process unstructured data like images, audio files, documents using Spark. So again, Spark makes use of distributed computing to process the data in a fast manner. So moving on to number six, the number six skill set required for aspiring data scientists like you are SQL database related skills. So you need to be proficient in SQL or structured query language if you want to become data scientist. In fact, Hive in Hadoop also harnesses SQL based skills because there also you write SQL type Hive queries. And as an aspiring data scientist, you should be able to write and execute complex queries in SQL. So as I told you, SQL is a programming language that can help you carry out operations like add, delete, and extract data from databases. And using SQL, you could carry out analytical functions and perform various data transformation activities, right? So using SQL, you can gather useful insights from data and communicate the results in more intuitive way. So you can, you could, in fact, you should be proficient in SQL if you are an aspiring data scientist. So SQL provides some inbuilt commands and functions that can help you to save time and lessen the amount of programming you need to write and execute difficult queries, right? So learning SQL will help you getting an understanding of relational databases as well as gives a boost to your profile as a data scientist. So number seven in the list is NoSQL database related skills. So while knowledge of NoSQL database is optional for data scientists, but it can be an added advantage if you are if you are majorly dealing with some unstructured data. And NoSQL basically stands for no other SQL database, and this is data which is not in traditional relational database form, right? So unstructured data is some content that does not fit into relational database tables. And examples of such unstructured data are blog posts, textual data in terms of social media posts, videos, video feeds, customer reviews, audio files, images, photos, etc. So NoSQL databases like MongoDB, Cassandra are very popular, but other graph-based NoSQL databases like Neo4j is becoming very popular these days. And as an aspiring data scientist, you can develop this skill to understand and manipulate unstructured data from different platforms. So you can gather useful insights from unstructured data if you have an understanding of NoSQL databases. And data scientists generally use neural networks to build deep learning models on top of this unstructured data. So this skill is good to have. So next in the list is data visualization techniques. So there is a famous saying, a picture is worth than 1,000 words, right? We all know that. And same thing is applied here also. So as an aspiring data scientist, you need to have this important skill because you might need to explain the finding of your machine or deep learning models to business users, or sometimes you might need to explain the insights derived from your data. And from your for that purpose you need to showcase data or model in fact insights in the form of some visuals, preferably in the form of charts or graphs. um, you know so that way we can utilize visualization techniques. So now you could use some visualization libraries like Seaborn, Plotly, Matplotlib, ggplot, Dash, etc. available in Python and R respectively. You would also utilize d3.js, which is a JavaScript based, right, a framework. And as far as BI tools are concerned, Microsoft provides a BI tool called Power BI, and then there is a famous tool called Tableau, which you could utilize to build beautiful graphs. So these tools will help you to convert complex results, like if most of the data points are close to mean or are scattered, shape of the distribution curve, etc., to a format that will be, shape of a distribution curve, etc. In fact, to a format that will be easy to comprehend, right? Sometimes data visualization is the only way to showcase data insights, right, or machine learning model results. So this is a very important skill you need to acquire. Data visualization also gives an organization or company the opportunity to gather insights from data directly. They can quickly grasp as actionable insights that will help them to act on new business opportunities or ventures and stay. Using that, they can basically stay ahead of their competition. Now, the ninth and the last skill which you need to have is domain or business knowledge. Right? So, in order to become a data scientist, you will need a solid understanding of the industry you are working in, and know what business problem the company you are going to work with is trying to solve. So you should know which problems are most critical and need to be solved, from business perspective. You also need to know the general business, in fact, need to have general business knowledge, which is same across the business, regardless of industry or vertical, industry or company, in fact. For example, the account receivable information, cost of goods sold, etc. Secondly, you need to have an industry specific knowledge, which is like retail or pharma or insurance. For example, in healthcare domain, you need to understand what is HIPAA compliance, what is meant by PHI and PII data, how human testing of medicines should be conducted, etc. And thirdly, you should have company specific knowledge. So company specific knowledge will be things like a revenue model, what is the competition, in fact, competitive advantage, target market, business models, business process of the company you are in, etc. Right? So you can acquire this knowledge when you spend some time with the company. And in a nutshell, in fact, you must understand how the problem you are trying to solve can impact the business. So this is why you need to know the business processes, so you can directly so that you can direct your efforts in the right direction. So folks, this is it for this video. To conclude, I covered 9 must-have skills to become a data scientist. And this video was developed for all the aspiring data scientists who actually wants to make a name in the industry for themselves. So please share your comments if you like this video, and if you are watching this video and you are not already a subscriber to our channel, consider clicking on that little subscribe button. And in case you have already subscribed, then click on that bell icon to receive the notifications whenever I will release a new video. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I will be covering next topic in the upcoming video, so keep on watching. Thank you.